Alrighty, folks, I have made a call about the mortgage market that looks to be on fire. Number one, I said we would have a bump in rate and term refis, people that got into these 2-1 buy downs and frankly got lucky. Check. That is already happened. What we are seeing now is people do cash out refis. Why? Because they are making strategic moves. They are extracting equity today so that they can put it to work when nobody is shopping. This is frankly a great idea. Why do you want to wait for more competition? I have told you repeatedly that 60% of my deals have become between Halloween and New Year's Day. This 4-day weekend, we are again recording this Thanksgiving morning. Yes, that's how dedicated we are to bringing you value. We're recording this multiple sessions, multiple videos on Thanksgiving morning. I'm here with Jonathan from Convoy Home Loans, and I want to ask him what he thinks about people extracting equity today to take advantage of a market where the buyers have vanished. And oh, by the way, we've seen record delistings, which means the properties that are left on the market may have motivated sellers. Jonathan, what say you? Happy Thanksgiving.
Happy Thanksgiving to you. And before I jump into it, happy Thanksgiving to everybody listening in the community. We are very thankful. I think it's our fourth or fifth Thanksgiving now. So
Yes.
super happy. Um, in regards to what we're talking about, though, hot topic, because a lot of people I've been hearing more and more now, other loan officers and other real estate agents tell people to wait, right?
Mm,
And I've been telling, obviously, and we've been telling everyone kind of the opposite way because like you said, motivated sellers and taking advantage of a real buyer's market, right? And we kind of saw the end of the buyer's market, and then when rates dropped a little bit, and then I feel like it started picking up again because
for
people,
sure.
buyers are starting to get deals that we saw again last year
Yep.
and the year before that when rates were higher. But they're getting these deals at better rates, right?
Mm-hmm.
And like you said, the 2-to-1 buy downs, anyone that bought 2 years ago, those people are refinancing into the current rate market, right? Because they started at a higher rate 2 years ago. And for people cashing out, like we have I think like maybe at least 30 to 40% of the loans that we're working on right now are cash out loans. And the reason that is so important is because you are going to be able to take advantage of the cash out to buy something either in cash or making it a disrespectful, aggressive offer on a property before the end of the year, especially if you're trying to take advantage of the big, beautiful bill, right? And
Yep.
all the write offs. I think that's kind of been the biggest motivator for so many
You know what?
people.
That is, it's funny. I'm thinking about the same thing because I'm looking at if I can close a deal by the end of the year. Because again, if you don't know, the big beautiful bill brings in bonus depreciation, right? Or accelerated depreciation. So again, rough and tough. Again, you'll have to do your own analysis and all of that. But if you buy a 400K property, let's say you buy a 450K property. Let's assume 50% of that is land value. Land value doesn't depreciate. Let's assume you go in and you get, a conservative 20% in accelerated depreciation. That's 80,000 bucks that you can write off on your 2025 taxes, assuming you put it in service, you get a rental, you do all the right tax hoops. But yeah, I mean, that is still possible. And that's one of the things I'm looking at, right? I'm talking with Lennar right now and a couple of other builders trying to see if I can get a deal done and get a tenant in place it in service to get that 80,000 bucks roughly in tax write-off. So again, cash out refi, leverage equity. And again, folks, this is about leveraging the buyer's market. I want you to do some math. Let's take whatever property you're looking at and let's assume two scenarios. Let's assume you could get it for 10% cheaper right now, or you get it for list price in February at a interest rate that's 20.25%, or shoot, a half a percent below. Oh, by the way, you're going to get it for 10% discount today, and you're going to get the seller to do 2 points of a buy down. Because again, you could do that in a buyer's market. You won't do that in the seller's market. In a seller's market, which may happen in the spring, you're going to pay list price and you are going to have to buy the points. This should be a very simple math formula. And if you need help, I'm sure Jonathan and team can help you. But that's what I think about, Jonathan. What's the best deal?
Yeah, absolutely. And I have a group of buyers, and I'll use this group of buyers and clients as an example. but they have been buying aggressively for the last year. Every single deal that they've done in the last year has been 4 to 6% of seller concessions on an investment property. 4 to 6% in seller concession. And we're not talking about like small markets. We're talking about Tennessee. We're talking about Georgia,
Yeah.
Texas, you know, markets that are still, the higher dollar and like not above the median, right?
Hmm.
And that allow for cash flow to still work. But these sellers, there's sellers out there offering 4 to 6% in seller
Yeah.
concessions. What are they doing? They're covering all the origination, they're covering all the buy downs, buying it down to the floor rate, whatever they need to get it to, it's massively increasing their cash on cash. Oh, and by the way, like we talked about, big beautiful bill time, these are experienced investors. They're going to be able to write off, they might even not pay taxes at all from all the
Maybe.
income that they've made, right?
Yeah. Maybe.
So I think this is kind of one of those opportunities where we have that window, right? We always love to talk about the windows of opportunity, and the people that are taking advantage of it, that are running through the window and grabbing hold of it, those are the people that I think are making the good deals. And anyone that's waiting right now, sitting and waiting, looking to see what'll happen, those are the people that are going to miss out and kick themselves in the foot later. But right now, where rates stand, we're kind of in a position where, like we talk about for the last 2 weeks, DSCR rates, conventional rates, bank statement rates, like all those rates don't have that much of a difference. So the opportunity to buy right now, especially if you wanted to buy a non-QM, is you're
Hmm.
gonna have a better chance right now than ever before, especially with the buy downs, right? Because if
Yeah.
you're doing, let's say, like we talked about, 20% down, let's say you're starting, it's a single family residence, starting rate is like 6.3, 6.2, and
Yeah.
then you get the seller to buy it down on a 30-year fix to 5.875 or 5.75. And then you're in a position where now you can set it and forget it, and all you did was buy right?
Yeah.
So that's kind
Yeah.
of what
You,
we're talking about.
you make your deals when you buy. I mean, it's always hard. People think they make the money when they sell, but you make your money when you buy. You get the cash flow. Again, buyers markets. Don't pay list price. Get seller concessions. Get rate buy down. Shoot, make the seller pay for it. And again, get 30-year debt. And oh, by the way, if something crazy happens next year or 5 years or 10 years from now, you can always refi later, right? A 30-year fixed rate debt is a one-way bet. If rates go up or stay the same, you're covered. If rates go down drastically, refi. Again, it's a win-win scenario. Jonathan, if somebody wanted to start one of these conversations or maybe do some math, because this math can be challenging, how should they reach out and get started?
Go to convoyhomeloans.com and let us know you came for more at. I have a quick question for you, Mike, though,
Sure.
because I've heard this question asked a lot from different clients, not from the
Okay.
channel, but others.
Sure.
Uh, let's say the buyer, let's say right now, obviously we're calling it a buyer's market, right? Where
Mm-hmm.
they're able to get to like concessions and what.
Yep.
Um, if the buyer is kind of stretched thin in terms of cash, right?
Mm-hmm.
We're calling it's buyer's market, so they need to make a move, right?
Yep.
What's your advice to anyone that has like, hey, I have, let's say, $100,000 and that's it, right? And let's say they need to put like at least 80% of that into a down payment. They'll only
Mm.
have a little bit of cash. So they'll enter into a position where they'll be house rich, cash poor, right?
Sure.
What do you say to those folks that are trying to do that?
Well, I guess I don't know where they are in their investing scenario. So everybody should have what I call a reserve number, and that's a thou shalt number. In fact, the only deal that I didn't do in the Great Recession was a 10-unit building where I would have had to dip below my comfort level. So in your scenario, if $20,000, let's just say, for example, in this scenario, you live high on the hog and you spend 20K a month. So you're basically going down to 1 month of reserves. That would be, at least in my world, crazy. So don't buy, frankly. Save more money, right? Get a second job. You got to do something. But let's say you live on 5K a month, and that's 4 months savings, right? At 20K. Those are going to be some choices each individual makes. But again, if you've been in this game a while and you have assets, I think one of the best things you could do, especially if, let's just say this is a scenario. I'm in growth mode. I have a couple of units. I'm going to extract equity from one of them and roll it into a new unit. However, I also have my primary home, and my primary home is very comfortable. So what Olivia and I did, and again, I only can tell you what I did, is we were very comfortable leveraging our equity to keep rolling it and growing. But what we did is we took out an equity line on our primary. That was kind of that buffer. That was the just in case money. We only, I think we tapped into it once, maybe twice over a decade, but that it was there on purpose. So it wasn't about having 20K left, right? Because you can get cash in lots of places. You can borrow from your 401k. I got a car loan. Again, folks, if you're in growth mode, you're in growth mode. So it's about looking at all the assets. But at the end of the day, if you're going to take an investment that makes you not sleep at night, there's no investment worth that. I would never trade. I don't want to be waking at 1 a.m. stressed about my real estate. You're living too close to the bone. So that's my closing advice.
Yeah, I mean that's great, because a lot of people have been asking, because obviously a lot of people are in growth mode but running out of cash, right? And then they're like, where do we kind of do all that? Do I do more? Do I sit? So I think that's great advice. So thank you. Yeah.
Yep, you got it. Again, folks, Convoy Home Loans does the one rental at a time, a solid. If you reach out to them, say you came from ORAT, you only deal with 2 people. You deal with Jonathan here or his partner, Dustin. If you don't say that and you go there, unfortunately, you will be in the queue with everybody else. And I'm trying to give you a fast pass like Disneyland to the 2 guys at the top. So say you came from ORAT, they will take care of you. Jonathan, happy Thanksgiving. Thank you for doing this Thanksgiving morning. You're amazing. Take care.
Thank you. Happy Thanksgiving.
Yep.